Tyrannosaurus Rex, the name lands like a verdict. King of the tyrant lizards, a skull built like a wrecking ball, teeth the size of carving knives, forward-facing eyes for depth perception, legs like pistons, a tail acting as a counterweight so the whole machine can lunge and hold. You've heard the legends. Here's the reality. Huge, yes, but purposeful. It didn't just crush, it targeted. The bite wasn't only strong, it was efficient. A living hydraulic press that turned bone to splinters. And those arms, not useless. Thick with muscle, tucked close like safety hooks for stabilizing a kill. Stay with me to the end. There's a twist about one gentle giant that flips the script. Triceratops, the three-horned juggernaut, two brow horns sweep forward. A nasal horn points like an exclamation mark. That frill, not just a shield, a billboard. Identity, dominance, and maybe a warning glow in a standoff. Imagine a herd at dawn, frills flashing as they square up. Predator approaching? Lower the head, plant the feet, and push. Fossils tell us these faces weren't just for show. Scarred frills and horns speak to clashes that left marks and survivors that carried the story. Velociraptor. Forget the movie monster. Think compact, fast, knife-toed, about the size of a big turkey, light enough to sprint and pivot like a track star. The iconic weapon is the sickle claw on the second toe, curved, retractable, built for hooking and pinning. Feathers? Yes, streamlined insulation and display, not a dragon, but a bird-lean predator with a mind for angles. Picture a silhouette rippling across a dune, tail stiff as a balancing rod, head down, eyes locked. Speed wasn't chaos, it was precision, a series of choices in fractions of seconds. Brachiosaurus, the high-rise herbivore. While most giants kept their heads level, this one aimed for the clouds. Forelimbs longer than the hind ones tilt the body like a living ramp. The neck sweeps up to treetop buffets. A herd of these would remodel a forest by passing through once. Branches stripped, canopies reshaped, light patterns on the ground rewritten. Its stride wasn't hurried. It didn't need to be. With each step, the earth hummed, a reminder that scale is its own defense. Gentle? Likely? Powerless? Not at all. A swing of that neck and a sidestep could clear space fast. Stegosaurus, the legend with plates and mystery. 9 meters long, a back lined with towering shields. Are they radiators? Signals? Armor? Maybe a bit of everything, but the real message lived in the tail. 4 wicked spikes mounted on a muscular handle, the infamous tail array. One snap, and a predator's ribs turned to questions. The brain wasn't large relative to the body, but the body was a fortress with a built-in mace. Think less dim, more dedicated hardware. An animal specialized for grazing low, listening for trouble, and answering with steel trap reflexes. Spinosaurus, the river sovereign. Long skull, conical teeth, a sail slicing the skyline, and a tail shaped for water, not just display. Imagine a crocodile stretched into a torpedo, limbs shortened, body dense, balance tuned for currents. On land, it might look awkward next to sprinting hunters. In the river, it becomes a ghost, sliding between reeds, turning in the slow swirl, exploding upward with jaws open. Land kings rule the shore. The river has its own crown. Ankylosaurus, the walking bunker. Plates and studs fused into a living carapace, eyelids reinforced like shutters. The secret sets at the tail's end, a bony club on a spring steel handle of interlocked vertebrae. Predators that underestimated it learned fast. Approach the soft flank if you can, because the side swing is a sledgehammer. Low to the ground, wide as a coffee table, it moves with deliberate confidence. Not dramatic until it has to be. Then everything within tail range becomes a cautionary tale. Allosaurus. Before the tyrant, the blade. Slender yet deadly, this Jurassic hunter played a different game from the later bruisers. The skull is lighter, the neck more flexible, the bite a slash and rip motion that turns speed into lacerations. Think pursuit, not ambush. Teamwork when necessary. A repertoire of strikes rather than a single knockout. A veteran of fights. Scars on bones, healed fractures, a predator that earned its crown by not breaking when everything else did. Pteranodon, not a dinosaur, an aerial specialist. Toothless beak, enormous wings, and a crest like a living rudder. Picture sea winds hurling up thermals over cliffs. This creature rides them with a fisherman's patience. No roar, no stomp, just a shadow gliding over waves before a quick dive and a flicker of wingtips. The skies of the Cretaceous weren't empty. They had rulers too, and this one owned the horizon. Mosasaurus, also not a dinosaur, a marine reptile kin to lizards and snakes, upgraded for ocean war. Streamlined torso, paddle limbs, a tail that scythes water. The jaw flexes at the joints, a trick borrowed by its modern relatives, letting it swallow meals that look too big to be possible. The ambush is its habit: rise from below, hit like a submarine, and vanish into backscatter. A shark's nightmare? A coastline's rumor? Archaeopteryx, a feathered fossil that changed arguments. Teeth in the mouth, a bony tail, wings etched into stone like a blueprint for flight. It doesn't care if you call it a bird or a dinosaur because it's the bridge, living in the tense middle where feathers first became airfoils. Early flight wasn't graceful. It was trial and error, hops and glides, the moment gravity blinked. Without forms like this, the sky would have remained a story, not a habitat. Pachycephalosaurus, the dome-skulled enigma, a forehead of thickened bone polished by time. Head-to-head ramming? Maybe. Sideswipes and shoves? This species resolve disputes without subtlety. The body plan is compact and sturdy, the tail stiff for balance, the legs built for a quick sprint and a harder stop. In a world of claws and teeth, sometimes your best weapon is momentum focused into a single point. Matchups that never happen, myths that won't die, and truth stranger than both. This is the dinosaur world when you strip away the movie gloss and look at design. Some were sprinters, some were tanks, some were towers. All were experiments in solving ancient problems with bone, muscle, and time. If you're learning something new, hit like so. The algorithm knows this is worth recommending. Comment with the creature that surprised you most and what clash you want next. Want members-only polls and early scripts? Tap join. Super Thanks turns research trips into episodes. You've waited for the gentle, giant twist. Here it is. That towering browser we met earlier could influence forests simply by showing up. When an animal stands taller than most trees' first branches, it doesn't browse, it edits. Pathways of light, seed dispersal, even the shape of wind in a clearing change after a single herd passes. Not a passive grazer, but an ecosystem architect. The big ones don't just eat plants, they redesign landscapes. Next episode. Electric eel, not truly an eel. More like a long living battery with a temper and a target. River dusk, silt rising, a flick of voltage like lightning rolled into flesh. You won't want to miss that breakdown. If this dive into the prehistoric blew your mind, subscribe for weekly Apex-level explorations. Drop a comment, River Hunter or Land King, which rules your imagination? And thank you to everyone who taps Super Thanks or becomes a channel member. You're the reason this channel keeps pushing deeper into the wild.